Good evening, Patriots. My name is Dan Dubois, and I'm the National President for Canadian Combat Coalition, and we're also known as C3. I'm being explicit because this week and last week we took on many new members. The group is growing by leaps and bounds daily, which tells me that finally Canadians are waking up. So I'm going to bring a few people in. These are all some regulars. I'm going to bring them in. Please bear with me. I'm going to wait till a few people come on. So basically, what I want to speak about tonight, and for those of you joining in late, you can always share this video or watch it after. But the thing I want to speak about tonight is basically the yellow vest protest that we've seen going on across Canada. And for those of you that are joining in late, I've seen a few people joining in late. My name's Dan Dubois, and I'm the National President for Canadian Combat Coalition. We're also known as C3. And what I want to speak about tonight a little bit is the Yellow Vest event that's been going across Canada in unison with what's been going on in France. Sorry, I got distracted there. So basically, Canadians are standing up and wearing a yellow vest because that's what's going on in France. France right now is in turmoil, almost what you may call a civil war. They're opposing the government, fighting the government, and it's about taxes, it's about mass immigration. There's many reasons why the French are standing up and opposing their government. So symbolically, Canadians have been doing the same across the country because fact of the matter is we're faced with the same trials and tribulations as the French. Our Prime Minister is a dictator. He's decided that even though 77% of Canadians oppose the signing of the UN, what do they call it, the UN Accord, even though 77% of the Canadians polled opposed this, Trudeau, with his majority government, goes ahead and signs it anyway because fact is he's bought and paid for it. He's a dictator, and he wants to turn Canada into a third world shithole. That's why they're going to allow 450,000 immigrants into Canada legally every year. And this is now the UN that is directing our immigration policy in Canada. Yes, for those of you that don't know, Trudeau yesterday signed away Canada's sovereignty. And it's not our immigration office that looks after our immigration anymore. It's the United Nations. And they're telling us they're going to bring 450,000 people a year into Canada. And, me and you, we're paying for it. That's the problem. Immigration isn't as much a problem as what it's turned out to be because it's burdening the average Canadian taxpayer. These people are coming here unwilling to work, unwilling to participate or contribute to our country. They're here as a burden, and they're costing Canadian taxpayers millions of dollars. Now, that's 450,000 legal immigrants. That doesn't count the 10, 20, 30,000 that are crossing our borders illegally yearly. And Trudeau is welcoming them with open arms. And what they don't speak about, and it's a very important thing, is it's called chain migration. Chain migration is for every person that's coming into Canada, that person will want to bring in their sister, their uncle, their brother, their nephew, their cousin. Chain migration, for every person that came in here legally, that person could bring in 5, 8, 10 other people. So the problem with this is, and ask our First Nations how they feel about it, mass immigration doesn't work. The host culture, and that's us, Canadians, is watered down by all these immigrants. And next thing you know, we, born, raised Canadians, or immigrants that have been here for years and years, some of us descendants and offspring of immigrants, we're going to lose our country. We're going to be like our First Nations. We're going to become second or probably even third class citizens in our own country. Our cultures will be watered down, diluted by these immigrants. And let's not forget that most of these immigrants are coming from the Middle East, and they have no problem having 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 kids. They have more than one wife. So we'll be quickly outpopulated, and the Canada that you and I grew up in will be gone. Your children and your grandchildren will suffer. And if you're 20, 30 years old, you're going to suffer too. I may see the beginning of the suffering. People even ask, why do I care at my age? Because I might not see the proverbial shit hit the fan. But fact of the matter is, I've got kids. I've got grandkids, and I care for their future, and I'd like to see them grow up in the Canada that I grew up in. So this yellow vest thing, it's not my idea. It's a Legay guy that I was speaking to yesterday. Sorry, I forget your first name. I speak to so many people daily. It's incredible. But anyway, they feel that if we keep doing this yellow vest protest at our city halls across Canada, that possibly this movement may gain momentum. We may get a little bit of traction, and eventually maybe thousands of us, like in France, will be showing up on the front step of our civic square buildings and our parliament buildings, showing what I call visible opposition to what's going on in Canada. Many people don't like what's going on, but they're not saying anything and they're not doing anything about it. So it's time to stand up and make your plea and state your case and join these rallies that are happening across the country. There's another one this Saturday. And C3, our main base is in Sudbury, Ontario. So we're going to do our first protest. We're coming out of the woodwork, and we're going to expose ourselves. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't crazy about exposing some of the members in our own backyard. It could cause us grief in the future. We usually hosted rallies in bigger centers. But this needs to be done in every city across Canada. If hundreds of thousands of us, even though we're separated by geography, if hundreds of thousands of us are on the front steps of our parliament building and showing visible opposition to what our government's doing, we may bring change. In France, the citizens are bringing change. Why? Because they are a visible opposition to what their government is imposing on them. And I want to reiterate that 77% of Canadians polled disagreed with the UN Accord and Trudeau signing our sovereignty away. But Trudeau, being a dictator and having a majority government, he does what he wants. And he signed it anyways, because it's self-serving. Does nothing for you and I. But it's going to make Trudeau a popular guy with the United Nations, and we all know that he's kissing ass. This guy kisses more butts than a toilet seat. And he's kissing ass to get into the United Nations. He wants a seat in there, okay? And I'll tell you, that piece of crap don't deserve to sit on a toilet seat, let alone a seat in a government post or on the United Nations. The United Nations Maxime Bernier said it. It's a useless entity that's been totally taken over. It's been compromised. There's 57 Islamic and Arabic countries in the United Nations, and it's clear that the agenda is Islamic and Muslim. I mean, come on. They gave Saudi Arabia the task of looking out for women's rights on the planet. There are no women's rights in Saudi Arabia. That's the biggest oxymoron I've ever heard in my life. I mean, you don't even have to be smart to see what's going on here. I better get back to my notes. So, I'm hoping that right across Canada, the Yellow Vest event will continue, that it will gain momentum, that it will get some traction, and that, you know, maybe in the spring, if we're still showing up on the step of our government and our civic squares and what have you, maybe there'll be tens of thousands of us. Maybe it'll be like France, and we might get our agenda to move forward, and that's preserving Canadian culture, even though Trudeau says we have no culture. What an idiot. So I go to this part here. So what's Trudeau done for Canada? Well, I want to point out that even the legalization of marijuana, which is a big thing that probably got him into office, is a mess. The laws and the rules are vague. They're not in place. Nobody knows what's going on. Fact of the matter is, the prices that the dispensaries are charging are very high. The quality is very low, and the availability is almost nil. So, you know, this was a half-cocked idea by a half-cocked government to try to gain favoritism by getting people to vote for them for the legalization of marijuana. Listen, legalization of marijuana is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm a user. I'm also I have my exemption from Health Canada. I've had it for a few years now. I've got many ailments, too numerous to list, and it's not your problem anyways, but all I can tell you is that cannabis helps me. And I've seen evidence of it helping others. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's medicine. And, you know, I mean, if beer and alcohol is legal, why not cannabis? But there are so many rules now, and the penalties. If you think he's legalized marijuana, listen, folks, go do your due diligence and go look at the penalties. They're stricter than they've ever been. The fines are higher than they've ever been. This is a cash grab. It's unreal what it costs to open a dispensary and the hoops you have to jump through. I mean, this is another economic push from the Liberals trying to cash grab more money out of your pockets. And Trudeau, you got your hands so deep in my pockets that while you're there, listen. You know what I mean? If you're going to rob me, a hand job would be in order. You know, I don't like to go to bed without being kissed first type thing. So get your hands out of my damn pockets, Trudeau. It's incredible and sad how much Canadians are taxed and burdened by taxes in this country. Heaviest taxed people in the world, supposedly. So another thing Trudeau couldn't do is he couldn't get us a NAFTA deal. Well, guess what? No NAFTA deal, industry leaves the country. That's just the way it goes. If you can't get us a NAFTA agreement and deals with other countries, industry will leave the country. It's a given. So Trudeau can't do his job. He's too young. That's another thing. Him and Scheer, he's saying things that I like, but you know what? I don't trust these young guys. They have no experience. You know, they've got these stupid ideologies. Oh, let's not have any borders and let's let any Tom, Dick, and Harry walk into the country. Well, they're bringing in disease. Disease that we had abolished in Canada are back. They're bringing in a lot of people that don't even like us, probable terrorists and people that are jeopardizing not only our health, but jeopardizing our safety. I mean, this moron lets in ISIS fighters, people that went abroad and killed others, okay? He's letting that back in the country. That's the moron we got running this country, okay? Can't get us a NAFTA deal. Legalize marijuana, but makes it worse than it's ever been. It was better when it was illegal. You know, another thing. You can't have industry and carbon tax. It just doesn't work. GM was paying $1 million a day at the Oshawa plant, I'm told. $1 million a day in carbon taxes. Well, how the hell is industry supposed to operate being taxed like this again? Cash grab by the government just to rob industry and rob Canadians. Why? Because Trudeau spends more money on a trip on a plane going abroad than you earn in a year. It's incredible. You know, things like 5 bottles of champagne per person and a case of beer is what's being charged on these trips abroad. Does that make sense? Can you drink 5 bottles of champagne and a case of beer on an 8 to 12 hour trip? Give me a break. This is abuse. This government is abusing me and you and all taxpayers. And it's about destroying the Americas. And he's well on his way. We're over $1 trillion in debt, ladies and gentlemen. Your grandkids aren't going to get us out of this hole. So, you know, I think the words to say is that it's obvious that Trudeau is purposely sabotaging Canada's industrial and future as a wealthy, dominating country in the world. He's sabotaging that. Why? Because he's got advisors like Soros. People that have said that openly that they want to destroy America. It's about feeding the gluttonous rich and the elite. That's Trudeau. They've got Trudeau in their pocket. And he does as he's told, like a puppet. And I believe Scheer will too. And listen, I'm not going to preach about Scheer and Bernier. I think they both got good and bad points. One thing I like about Bernier is he hates the United Nations. And I like that he's a little bit elderly and that he's a seasoned politician. And he could have probably got us a NAFTA deal because it's called experience. Oh, people, he's a career politician. Well, guess what? When you're a career politician, you get something that's called experience. And experience, I used to be an employer. I've had businesses in the past. And you know what I liked the most when I hired someone? Experience. Does Scheer have experience? No. Does Trudeau have experience? No. And look what he's doing. Trudeau's even bought the media. $500 million he gives the media. Bought and paid for. You don't think that's true? Why aren't they reporting on the UN accord agreement that Trudeau signed? Why did they only report on it once he signed it? Nowhere did you see in mainstream media, a warning that Trudeau was going to do this. Most Canadians to this day are totally unaware that this event even happened. Most Canadians don't even know that Trudeau just sold out your sovereignty, signed off your sovereignty, and he sold Canadians out. Most people don't have a clue that that happened. Why? Because mainstream media is not reporting on newsworthy events. They're not even reporting in France. And you know what? Keep not reporting, because it's making even the people that think that I'm crazy and think that half of you patriots are crazy, they're starting to notice that, why, geez, you know, it's pretty obvious. We see it on Facebook. France is pretty well in the Civil War. It's right there. You can see it. There's all kinds of photos and videos floating around Facebook and the internet. But why isn't mainstream media reporting on such a newsworthy event? And when they do, it's very like a frivolous reporting. No in-depth reporting. Oh, geez, the French are mad about the gas. There's a lot more to it than that. The French are mad about taxes. They're mad about the fuel. They're mad about mass immigration. They're mad about what their government has done to them. And guess what, folks? Their government did to them exactly what our government is doing to us. So the yellow vest thing across Canada is a good thing. I heard that in a country, they stopped selling yellow vests. They stopped selling yellow vests because they're scared that people in their country are going to start mimicking what's going on in France. Well, you know what? Let's mimic what's going on in France. Let's show our government that, like the French in France, we're pissed off at what they're doing to us. So, let's get a yellow vest. And we're going to be doing the rally this weekend. We're doing one in Sudbury. First time ever. C3 or pretty well anything like this has happened in Sudbury. I haven't seen any protests in this city. There's 100,000 people live in town. 100,000 people live in the outskirts. It's a city worthy of maybe a group like ours bringing some attention to what's going on to this damn country. So we're going to be, and I'm asking anybody that's watching this video that lives in Sudbury area to join us Saturday. C3 will be there. Come and meet us. We will be at Civic Square, downtown Sudbury, 2 o'clock. And we're going to be there wearing yellow vests, those of us that have one. And we're there in solidarity with our friends in France. Because we want what they want. We want our government to be accountable to us, the citizens. And we demand that our government be transparent and realize that they work for us. We don't work for them. They work for us. So let's remind our government that they work for us. And if we don't like what they're doing, they're fired. Trudeau, you are fired, in my opinion. There's enough Canadians that hate you that you should walk, bro. Dude, grab your bags and leave Parliament. Because I bet that if you don't, we're going to throw you out. 2019 elections can't come fast enough. And I want to reiterate that we're having a rally, and it's going to be an important rally, last kick at the can. We're having a rally July 20th in Ottawa, Parliament Hill. We're trying to start it at 3 till 7 o'clock at night. And it's your last kick at the can to show this government that you don't like what they're doing and be part of the visible opposition to show the government that they got to change or they're out. You can't bring change unless staying at home on the couch. I mean, some of you, it's understandable, can't attend these rallies and stuff, and we very appreciate what they call keyboard warriors. The pen is mightier than the sword. Many of these keyboard warriors are out there writing to their parliamentary people all the time, and you never know. They may have more effect than us, the visible opposition. So I'm asking Canadians to become part of the visible opposition and, show our government that Canadians are finally standing up and that we're going to bring the government down. You either start looking after our elderly and our military and our veterans and put Canadians first, like it should be, because we paid for it, damn it. The veterans and paid with their lives and blood. And the elderly paid by working for 30 years and making this government, this country what it is. And they paid those taxes and they paid into those pensions. So it's right that they should get that money, not everybody else. Trudeau's investing our pension money into other, and actually donating some of our pension money to other countries. What is that about? Donating our money, did he ask? No. He just goes and does it. The guy's a dictator. And, when I'm talking Canadians first, that's immigrants too. Okay? Let's be clear here. This country was founded on immigration. And it's a great country. But the immigrants that we took in years ago, were immigrants that contributed to this country. The immigrants that Trudeau is picking, because there are good people that want to come into this country. South Africans, for instance, they're in despair right now. Why aren't we letting them in? No. Trudeau donates millions to the black Africans that are actually killing the whites down there. He donated money to some women's group down there, black women's group. So, this is not about color. This protest to our government is not about race or color or religion. It's about Canadians. And Canadians come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, and creeds, and religions, and dialects. And those Canadians deserve to come first. Not these new people that you're bringing into the country by the hundreds of thousands that will dilute our cultures in a very short period and that are actually here as a burden on Canadians. Mass immigration doesn't work. Remember the chain immigration. For every person that comes in, 4, 5, 8, 10 more will follow. And they're not being reported. They're not talking about those people. When they say they're bringing in 450,000, they're not talking about the chain migration that's going to follow them. So it's not 450,000 a year. You can double that. It's going to be 1 million a year. There's only 34 million people in this country. How long is it going to take before the United Nations has inundated us with people from third world countries? And then this country becomes a third world country, people. I mean, it's a given. Think about it. So, another couple things. I hear the Antifa guys actually attacked Kevin J. Johnson's wife and child, so I think at a mall or something last week. These guys have got to be put under control. Antifa is nothing but a bunch of young punks that have no idea what's going on in this country, and they look at us as a bunch of racists because we oppose mass immigration. They don't see the big picture. It has, I gotta say it again, it has nothing to do about color. It has nothing to do about race. It has to do about preserving our way of life. I don't care if the people that were coming in were green. If they were green people, I'd like them just like I like the other people. Listen, I was born in Canada and raised in Canada. And all my life, I've had Italians and Chinese and Yugoslavians and Ukrainians and Sikhs and all kinds of people from all over the world around me. And I got along with all of them. Why? Because they came in one at a time. They were accounted for. They were properly vetted. And they came to this country to contribute. And now, this is not immigration. This has become an invasion. Okay? And I'll tell you something else, people. Don't think that these cultures like the Sharia law, don't think that doesn't appeal to some Canadian men born in Canada. Some of these guys went to ISIS. Some men in Canada would love to be in a patriarchal society where the women are totally persecuted and controlled like animals. Don't kid yourself. There's Canadian men born and raised in Canada that like that ideology. So, whose side do you think they're going to be on? So it's coming at us from all directions. It's coming at us from within. It's coming at us from our government. And it's coming at us from extremists and Islamists, extreme Islamists, extremist Islamists. Jesus, quite the mouthful. But anyways, they're coming into this country. And a lot of people say, oh, there's not too many. Come on. Well, let's say 1% of 450,000 every year. How many is that? Do the math. It's thousands and thousands and thousands. Just at 1%. And I think you're being very conservative if you think that only 1% of these people are coming here to actually help Canada. A lot of these people are coming here to help destroy Canada. They don't like us. They don't like our way of life. They don't think that women should be allowed to walk on the beaches in bikinis. Our beaches, listen, our beaches were compromised. Even here in Sudbury, one beach, they found glass and busted, jagged pieces of metal and stuff all over the beach. And the Islamists have admitted the way they do it is in winter, they drive around with snow machines on the beaches. They break glass all over in the snow. And in the spring, that melts into the sand. And it's all about keeping people off the beaches because they don't believe that women should be allowed to wear a bikini. You know? These people didn't come here to enjoy our way of life. They came here to impose their way of life on us. That's what we must fear. And it's coming. So, another thing. I guess PPCW, that's Patriot Pride Canada-wide. That's a fake patriot group run by Ryan. He's the most toxic guy in the movement. I'm not going to name his last name because he reports everybody and he has everybody thrown in jail. And he's the most evil man I've ever met. A convicted woman beater, was under house arrest last year, tried to sabotage our rally saying it had been cancelled. He's tried to sabotage rallies in Calgary and Edmonton. One of the most, and why does he do this, you ask? Well, he was thrown out of C3 almost 2 years ago, and he was our leader, and butthurt, he just can't get over it, and he can't move on with his life because he's got mental illness. So he attacks C3 and the members any chance he gets. So if you see derogatory stuff out there about C3 or about myself or other members in C3, look, it's by this Greg Huck guy, which is an alias of Ryan, and it's under the PPCW page, which is Patriot Pride Canada-wide. So just a warning to, if you're on that page, get off that page. That's a sabotager, evil guy. Basically, I believe he works with Antifa. Get rid of him, okay? It's good advice, believe me. So, with that said, I'll be back tomorrow night. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm going to do 2 videos in a row. I don't like doing these videos, but I feel that, you know, being the leader, it's either you do them or you're not the leader. So, I'm going to be back tomorrow night, and tomorrow night it's going to be more of a frivolous show. I want to show our new gear, C3. It's got a bunch of new gear. We got more hats like this. We got hats that don't have the white and they actually have a structured front, you know, that stand up more. A lot of guys like that style of hats. And well, here, geez, I can show you this one thing. And we got hoodies. See, this is a hoodie. And the hoodies are exactly like our, see, they got the, this is the Alpha Leader insignia that we have on our arm there, by the way. It's the Phoenician symbol for Alpha Leader. So, you know, all our t-shirts, the long sleeves, have this Alpha Leader symbol on them. So we got that on there. You got your, you know, your the paw from the bear. And on the back, I don't know how good I can do this here, but on the back, I don't know, you can see that at the back, just like our t-shirts, you know. They're really nice. They've got the pocket in the front, little strings, really nice. They're going to be selling for $50 plus tax, which is $56.50. So you'll be able to order them through me. We're also, as soon as I can get my daughter to help me, because I first admit I'm not very techie savvy, my daughter's going to help me. We're going to put a GoFundMe or a donate bar on the page. We're going to start raising funds so that we could help people with transportation, maybe get a bus or something going to get people to come to our rally next summer, July 20th. And, well, it's a fact. If this group is to prosper and grow, we need funds. We've never asked for money before. And all the swag, by the way, we make no money on. Okay? These hats, $10. Tell me where you can get a hat for $10. Okay? $10, this hat. This thing's 50. Yeah, you know what? The thing that makes our t-shirt, and our regular t-shirts are $30. And why they're expensive? Well, because, you know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prints on these shirts. So they got to be handled 7 times. They got to come out of the box. They got to be handled 5 times on the machines. Then they got to be folded up and back in the box. So handling fee 7 times to handle this shirt before it gets to you. So it is what it is. We make Absolutely no money on the swag. So tomorrow night I'm going to show you. We've got tank tops for women that say support on them. We've got another style of hats. We've got beanies. We got t-shirts. We got hoodies. And that's going to all be on tomorrow's video. So if you want to see our swag, if you want to know how to order our swag, watch the video tomorrow. Same time, 8:30 Eastern. So with all of that said, I always talk way too long because I love you guys. With all that said, I'm signing off. I hope you share this video. I hope that you convince your friends to join C3. And by the way, congratulations, C3. Just yesterday, I think, we're over 3,500 members. 3,500 members, and we're worldwide, not just in Canada. You can go on the map, and we've got members around the world. It's unreal. The phenomenon is catching on. And we're I approve myself almost 100 posts a day, and we've got 6 administrators on this page. So, you know, we're growing by leaps and bounds, and people like what we do, and they like what we're exposing. So make sure to share our stuff, talk to your friends, because maybe, just maybe, someday C3 will be big enough that when we put our foot down, when we speak, we will be heard. And maybe they'll ask us, hey, do you think if we change this law that all hell would break loose in Canada? Maybe we could start advising on an advisory capacity. You know, we have a feel for what the people want. The leaders of C3 and the members of C3, and I speak to so many every day, and that's the impression I get. We have a very good grasp and a very good feel of what Canadians want in this country. So with patriots like that uniting, maybe we can make a difference in the future. But we can't do it alone. We need you to help us help you. So please join C3. Again, I'm talking crazy. Oh, somebody, yeah, I am live. Well, we're going to finish the video nonetheless, and those of you that weren't able to join live, well, you can watch it after. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Take care, patriots. Have a great night.